What's going on, everyone? This is Kevin here, and in this video we're going to be talking all about MobileX, which is one of the most innovative mobile providers. So without further ado, let's get started. Now, if you're not familiar with MobileX, the company was established in the last couple of years and their service launched about a year ago, and they've achieved a lot in a relatively short period of time. Not only are they offering a very unique product, which I'll be discussing here in this video, but they also recently announced that they're partnering with Walmart. Now, you might be wondering, how can a company just appear out of nowhere and start providing cell service? Wouldn't they need to build out billions of dollars worth of towers and other infrastructure? Now, MobileX is actually an MVNO, which means that they don't actually own any of the infrastructure or networks that their service uses. And instead, they actually rent access to the networks that have been set up by the legacy carriers. So from a user standpoint, it'll look and feel like you're using MobileX's network, but that service is actually being run through a legacy carrier's network. And in MobileX's situation, they actually use Verizon's network. Now, what is MobileX offering that Verizon can't offer? Well, for example, in this situation, they offer a lot of extra flexibility when it comes to their various plans. And this will make a lot more sense when I show you in a second. Now, this is MobileX's website, and I've got to say, they actually have a really nice looking website. Probably one of the best I've seen from any carrier for that matter. But let's head over to the features section to learn a bit more about MobileX. So you can see here, build a plan that fits you, manage your bill in advance, no more surprises, pick whichever data limit you want, pay only for the data that you use, never for what you don't, and the app can recommend a personalized data plan. So already you can see that MobileX is really prioritizing the consumer here. Scrolling down a little bit more, you can see that you can do everything from a simple app. Now, I'll admit that I have not tried MobileX yet, so I'm kind of just going off their claims here, but I've definitely heard a lot of good things so far, and I'm personally looking forward to trying out this service someday. But let's now head over to the plans section of their website and learn a bit more about what they're offering here. So MobileX does have 3 plans, and the first plan here is kind of their signature plan and what they're really bringing to the table that's unique. So if you choose to go with this plan, the way that it works is that the first 10 days on the MobileX service is actually free. And in that 10-day period, they have a data forecaster that basically analyzes the amount of data you're using to then determine which plan is best for you. Then in addition to that, also based on the amount of phone calls you're doing and text messages you're sending, that's also calculated into what your actual plan will cost. Now, even for talk and text, there are options here where you can have a limit or you can have unlimited based on what you're actually using on a regular basis. So for example, if you barely send any text messages, maybe you're always using WhatsApp, for example, or you're always using iMessage, then you might not want to pay for unlimited text messaging. Or even for phone calls for that matter, that might be the same way. Maybe you only talk for 40 minutes a month. And if that's the case, maybe the talk 50, text 50 would be the best option for you. Now, if you are kind of all over the place with your talk and texting, maybe some months you're barely talking on the phone, but other months you're talking nonstop, then you might want to consider going for the unlimited option. But the whole point here is that you're basically not overpaying for features that you're not using. So if you barely talk on the phone and if you barely send any text messages, you don't have to pay a lot of money for that feature. And there's actually even an option here for no talk and no text. So if you want to pair up this service with a tablet, then you don't have to pay for features that you literally can't use with that device anyway. So again, their data forecaster uses AI to determine how much data you're going to be using every month. And what's cool too is that if you happen to have extra data by the end of your service month, that will actually carry over to the following month, which you typically don't find that often with too many carriers, and especially carriers in the prepaid space. But this is pretty cool because basically there's a 30-day access platform fee of $1.98. Then on top of that, it's $2.10 per gigabyte. And then data speeds are not capped, so you are getting full speed data, which would make sense because you're paying for it. Also, you're getting visual voicemail, and you can even hotspot if you wish. So you are getting all the various features that you'd expect to find with pretty much any carrier out there, but with the way that things are set up by MobileX, you're not going to be overpaying at all, and even if you find yourself having more data than you actually need, that will just carry over to the next month. So nothing's wasted. Now scrolling down to take a look at the other plans here, they do have 2 additional plans. These plans are a little bit more traditional. So for example, their basic unlimited 5 plan for $14.88 per month will give you unlimited data, but actually 5 gigabytes of high-speed data. So once you go through that 5 gigabytes of high-speed data, the data is gonna work, but it'll be so slow that you probably will want more high-speed data. So it might be good enough to send a message on WhatsApp, but that's about it. But if you wanted to watch a video or go on social media, it probably wouldn't really work that well outside of that 5 gigabytes of high-speed data. So that's why they put unlimited in quotes. But if that's not enough for you, there's also the option for basic unlimited 30. So for $24.88 per month, you get 30 gigabytes of high-speed data. So that's actually pretty generous. And even when it comes to that, that is a really good deal. And then for both of these unlimited plans, talk and text are unlimited. So you'll have to kind of consider whether it's worth going for one of these more traditional plans or to try out their personalized access plan. It really comes down to the way that you use your mobile device. Now, if you're curious about phone compatibility, there's pretty decent compatibility here, especially if you have a relatively new, unlocked smartphone. So you can kind of read this for yourself or take a look on their website to learn more about that. But overall, they are pretty generous as far as being compatible with phones that are actually sold in the US factory unlocked. Now, heading over to the data forecaster section of their website, this is kind of fun. So they do have a calculator here. So let's put in 5 gigabytes of data. So you can see with their personalized access plan, that would cost $12.48 per month. And then scrolling down here, you can see that it'll show you the equivalent of the amount of web browsing or video streaming, various downloads, things like that. So let's say that you stream a bunch of video. Maybe you stream 600 videos in a month. You can see that bumps it up to 5.57 gigabytes there. And then that does then increase the cost of the plan to $24.88. And then will increase the amount of web pages that you visit, the amount of music you stream, apps and games as well. And you can see then that that does actually raise the amount of data that you're using in a single month. And then that does then end up raising your bill as well. So definitely kind of a fun tool to use here, and unlike really anything I've seen on a carrier's website before. Also scrolling down here, they do mention what the average user typically does in a month. So maybe that'll give you a better idea if you're not even so sure about yourself. So this now leads us into the next part of the video, and I want to discuss how you can actually sign up for their service. So they do offer eSIM, but they also offer traditional SIM. And as part of this recent announcement, you can now buy their SIM card from Walmart. So you can see here, you can buy it for $9.88, at least as of now. I will be linking to this, by the way, in the video description if you want to check it out on your own. But this is kind of part of their big announcement today. So heading over to the founder's Twitter page, you can see here he mentions today MobileX and Walmart have announced a unique partnership. MobileX will first launch at Walmart online and then will roll out to 4,000 stores across the US. And if you're not aware already, Walmart really is one of the biggest prepaid retailers in the US. And typically if you go into a Walmart and you look in the prepaid section, they have a lot of different brands there to choose from. So it's kind of your one-stop shop for everything prepaid. But this is definitely a big milestone for MobileX because a lot of people will walk into Walmart just looking for the best deal they could find, and they're not necessarily that loyal to any particular carrier. And then maybe they'll find what MobileX is offering to be the most compelling option. So this is really cool, and I'm really excited to see how this plays out. I definitely feel like having a good distribution channel such as Walmart is really going to help this service take off and be a huge success. But this concludes my overview of MobileX, the mobile carrier, and I hope you found this video to be interesting and informative. And if you have any questions at all about MobileX, definitely feel free to ask in the comment section below. Again, like I mentioned, I personally have not used the service yet. I would like to in the future, and especially while I was creating today's video and learning more about this company, I'm really excited about what they're offering. You typically don't think about there being much innovation in the mobile space, so when that does actually happen, that is especially interesting to see. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. But this is Kevin here, this is MobileX, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and have a great rest of your day.